Now these aren't really overly torqued, your drain plugs. Like I say, they're a 22 millimeter. I don't really know how dirty the oil is going to be. Yeah, it's actually pretty dirty. But you got to remember also, when they do this, after 50 hours, that's your break-in hours, really. So you can see the oil's pretty nasty, which you kind of expect that. You could put in, I believe, I don't know off the top of my head because it's in the garage there. Normally I'd pull this in the garage, but I got a brake set up in there for bend and trim. But anyway, look at your chart in your owner's manual, and it will tell you for your area, for the low temperatures and the high temperatures. Like out, I believe it's 2040, I'm not positive, out west, you know, where you get 100 and 120 degrees out in the desert there. Here in Michigan, I believe it's 1530, I want to say, because it doesn't really get as cold. I mean, it does, obviously. So now what you also want to do is you want to fire it up and let it warm up for, you know, 5 minutes maybe, to get the oil thin, to drain it, so everything's kicked up in it, comes out quicker. So anyway, the other drain hole on the other side, drain plug rather, you know, it's right here. And like I say, they're really not too terribly tight. Well, from my angle, I'm right-handed, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to do this because I'm using my left hand. And then my right arm got 2 bee stings on it yesterday, and oddly enough, they were not my bees. So it's kind of funny that I'm a beekeeper, and yeah, that was pretty nasty. Anyway, the bees that stung me weren't mine. I was putting up some trim, and yeah, they flew out of a small hole and nailed me pretty good. Arm swelled up pretty huge. That's a whole other video you can look at while you're bored watching my videos. So anyway, I'm just going to sit and let this completely drain before I put the plugs back in. And my oil filter wrench I can't find, so what I'm going to have to do is just use a pair of channel locks. I got the man's pair of channel locks that I'll use on that to pop it off. Then we'll come back to that. Wait. I forgot. Alright, we're going to do a 50-hour maintenance on the old tractor here. I'm going to do an oil change first. So what you're going to need, you have to remember this thing holds 1.3 gallons. So basically just over 5 quarts of oil. So make sure you have a pan that'll hold 5 quarts of oil. You're going to need a 22 millimeter socket or wrench. Alright, you see the there's a drain plug right there. Alright. We'll swing around to the other side. And I probably should lower the bucket, but hey. And then if you notice, there is another drain plug over here. There's 2 on this, okay? Because the design of the oil pan goes up, over, and then back down. So the oil pan's kind of unusual. So, and you also want to open your hood. Alright. And oil filter. from the factory is right there. So you need an oil filter wrench. And unfortunately, my oil filter wrenches are nowhere to be found. So I'm just going to use a pair of channel locks to grab a hold of that baby. Also, part of your 50-hour maintenance, you don't have to. They don't have you changing the fuel filter, okay? But if you notice my screen, see how dirty that screen is? Okay, I haven't cleaned it in a while. A lot of times that'll cause overheating issues. Air filter is right here. Okay, now that, I'm just going to pull that out. It's a 2-part air filter, okay? I'll have to lower the bucket down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that out and air blast it with air. I do have new ones, so I may wind up changing it. It's cheaper if you buy the whole kit. Now this one here is a shuttle transmission. So it's -1 filter. Now if you have the automatic, basically, there's an extra filter for the hydrostatic transmission that you also have to change. So just remember that. And this is pretty much the same for, I believe, I'm not going to say positively, but I believe most of their tractors are the same. Now the hydraulic filter is around the other side. Okay. It is, I can't see it. Well, when I go underneath there, I'll show you. Because the hydraulic filter, I believe it's on the other side. I already changed. So anyway, just remember, you have 2 drain plugs. You have basically just over 5 quarts of oil. The fuel filter is right here. Yeah, you can see it. Now the fuel filter, you can see right here. It does have a, you can drain the moisture out of it. You're supposed to drain the water out of it periodically. So I'll be doing that also. I'll be draining the water. Your oil dipstick, right here. Oil filler. I can't see it from my angle. Should be, I believe. Alright, let me shift here. Oil filler. So it's part of your 50-hour. Drain the water out of the fuel filter. Change your oil. Check your fluid in your axles. Your front axle there. Check your hydraulic fluid. They do recommend that you change the hydraulic fluid filter. Okay. Which kind of really makes no sense why you would change the filter and not change the fluid. So, yeah, I'll have to get a shot of that. Oh, it's right there. Duh. Sorry about that. This is the hydraulic filter right here. Okay. I already changed it. The fluid, simply because now from the factory, these are all painted black. So when they paint the engine and everything, all that's together, so these filters wind up getting painted over. Now, if you notice, I did replace it with an LS filter. I bought all new LS filters. Oh, looks like we've got a branch jammed up in there. That's probably not good. Yeah, that's jammed up in there pretty good. Doesn't look like it did anything. Yeah. Yeah. You know, but hey, when you're out in the country, right? Stuff will get jammed up in there. There we go. So anyway, they do recommend you change the fluid filter, but I changed the fluid simply because I had a clamp. See that clamp right there? The one that looks silver? It snagged when I pulled off the the backhoe. I didn't have, this part was up a little bit too far, and it snagged the clamp and bent the clamp, popped the fitting off, so I lost all my hydraulic fluid. So I put a new hydraulic filter on there at that time. It was about 48 hours, and put a new fluid in it. But like I say, the fluid, they don't recommend that you change that. So, you know what, let's lower that down. But anyway, so you want to check all your fluids. Grease. You can see the Zerk fittings. Alright. Everywhere there's a pivot point. See how they're recessed to protect them? So everywhere there's a recess, a pivot point, you'll want to grease, okay? So just kind of remember that. I know I'm going over stuff I already went over. You can see there's 4 there, down there, 2 there, 2 there. So you know what, you just want to kind of go over everything, hit all your Zerk fittings, and the bolts are 22 millimeter for the oil drain. Now if you have a backhoe on yours, and again, every pivot point, there's a grease fitting down here. You have to fold the legs down. There's one here, there's one down under there. You can see there's one there. I just did all the grease on this, I don't know, a couple of days ago. Another one there, another one there, another one up there. And if you come around to the side here, you can see Zerk fittings. Just basically what you can do is everywhere there's a pivot point on this thing, you're going to have a Zerk fitting. Just remember that. See, there's another one down there. It's a little bit harder to get to. So just remember, literally everywhere there's a pivot point, make sure you grease it. I didn't use the backhoe for quite a while, so there was no reason to grease it. So I just waited until I got 50 hours, about 48 hours actually. No, about 50, 52. Then I greased it because I've used it to dig a trench, which is on my other video, but I dug a trench from here for the water line, conduit for the alarm system and the camera system and the electric, all the way through here over to there. You can still see there's a water line laying over there. Don't know if the electrical's over there somewhere. It's not hooked up yet, because electrical, yeah, you can see the cable right there. Direct burial cable, because that's got to get hooked up to the this is going to be a separate meter for the barn here. Well, I don't know if you want to call this a barn. It's to me it's more of a garage, but it's 24 by 30 something. So anyway, that's not the point of this. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pop off the plugs there and drain the oil, and then I'll pull off the oil filter and I'll show you the new oil filter. Before you do all that, make sure your filters are the right ones. Now these aren't really overly torqued, your drain plugs. Like I say, they're 22 millimeter. I don't really know how dirty the oil is going to be. Yeah, it's actually pretty dirty. But you got to remember also, when they do this, after 50 hours, that's your break-in hours, really. So you can see the oil's pretty nasty, which you kind of expect that. You could put in, I believe, I don't know off the top of my head because it's in the garage there. Normally I'd pull this in the garage, but I got a brake set up in there for bend and trim. But anyway, look at your chart in your owner's manual, and it will tell you for your area, for the low temperatures and the high temperatures. Like out, I believe it's 2040 I'm not positive. Out west, you know, where you get 100 and 120 degrees out in the desert there. Here in Michigan, I believe it's 1530, I want to say, because it doesn't really get as cold. I mean, it does, obviously. So anyway, what you also want to do is you want to fire it up and let it warm up for, you know, 5 minutes maybe, to get the oil thin, to drain it, so everything's kicked up in it, comes out quicker. So anyway, the other drain hole on the other side, drain plug rather, you know, it's right here. And like I say, they're really not too terribly tight. Well, from my angle, I'm right-handed, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to do this because I'm using my left hand. And then my right arm got 2 bee stings on it yesterday, and oddly enough, they were not my bees. So it's kind of funny that I'm a beekeeper, and yeah, that was pretty nasty. And anyway, the bees that stung me weren't mine. I was putting up some trim, and yeah, they flew out of a small hole and nailed me pretty good. Arm swelled up pretty huge. That's a whole other video you can look at while you're bored watching my videos. So anyway, I'm just going to sit and let this completely drain before I put the plugs back in. And my oil filter wrench I can't find. So what I'm going to have to do is just use a pair of channel locks. I got the man's pair of channel locks that I'll use on that to pop it off. Then we'll come back to that. Wait. I forgot. Okay. I ordered this filter kit, as you can see, from Legacy Tractor Sales and Service, Fort Collins, Colorado. Now, I ordered the kit, and that way there, you know you're getting the right thing. So I just want to show you why you check your filters. That's an LS filter. That's an LS filter. Fuel filter is an LS filter. Okay. Now there is a fitting on the bottom of the fuel filter that has to come off. The hydraulic filter was also the right one, and then they threw in a Coyote oil filter, which obviously is the wrong filter. This filter here on the LS tractor, it's I believe it's a 3-inch filter diameter, and this is probably 3.5 inches. So that's why you definitely want to check all your filters and everything before you do your oil change. So I just wanted to show that, you know, and whoever packed the box, I got to be honest with you, was an idiot. Simply because when you're packing it up for an LS, why would you throw a Coyote oil filter in there? Could have been the last day. Guy could have been a smart ass. He could have been pissed. Who knows? But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that to show you that, and that's why always check your filters to make sure they're the right filters. Otherwise, you'll get yourself in a jam. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that part in there. I try not to get the video camera all greasy. And you know what? I have not succeeded. Oh, early. Anyway, the air filter, there's 2 clips. One right there, and then one on the bottom. And you can pull out the outer filter. See, there's an inner and outer filter. Usually what I'll do, I don't know if you can really see or not, you just hold that up to the light, and generally if you can see light through there, you're basically, well, I haven't blown it out yet. So anyway, there you go. If you can see light through there, you really don't need to replace the air filter. Like I say, they don't recommend that you replace it at 50,000. I might just go ahead and replace it because I do have one. The screen, I already cleaned the screen. The screen just slides out. Well, in a way, it's stuck. In a way, yeah. It wants to be a pain in the ass. And I know I don't have it. Yeah, I've got the both screw. Yeah, I got the screw out of it. Anyway, yeah, it doesn't want to. Wow, she does not want to come out of there. Anyway, but you can just blow it off with it in there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why it won't come off. Probably jammed in there pretty good from the factory. Because you can see the way they had it tight, it warped it. But you can see I already cleaned it anyway. Yeah, I just hit it with air. You know, I kind of just, you know, like blast everything. I just like to make sure there's no, you know, because you already have it open. You know, it's not like you're going to damage anything. You see there's a lot of dust in the, what am I zoomed in again? I keep hitting the zoom button. I apologize for that, people. Oh, there. So anyway, I just like to kind of hit everything. But anyway, the dipstick will show you on the dipstick here. Where's she at? Okay. Oops. All right, the dipstick is right here. Now, if you look at it, see, it's about halfway, roughly halfway between low and high. And that's kind of where you want it. So you kind of want it at about halfway. Because you don't really want to necessarily overfill it. And, whoops. And so you can see, roughly, I don't know how well you can see that. It's not quite on high. But anyway, and that's pretty much it. Now the oil filler is right there, and you do not unscrew it. Okay, it just pops off. Okay, just so you know, it's ribbed. So when you put it back on, so don't try to unscrew it. Just when you put it back on, you know, make sure you push on it really good. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and pop a new air filter on here, seeing as how I already have them, because I just bought the whole kit. The whole kit was like 130 bucks. But anyway, supposedly the Coyote filter that they replace it with, you know, that they ship with it, supposedly it will thread on there. It's a 1/2 inch bigger. Oh, 3/4 of an inch bigger, actually, almost. And but to see whether they're telling the truth or not, I put the Coyote one on there, and you don't over torque them. Of course, it's just like on a car. People over torque oil filters. You spin it on. Once you make contact, you turn it from 1/2 to 3/4 of a turn. That's all. You do not over tighten it. You don't tighten it with oil wrench. And people, especially those fast lube places, they always over tighten the oil filters. You should be able to put it on by hand and take it off by hand. Obviously, from the factory, no, because you know, when they do it in Korea, they want to make sure nothing's going to loosen. But anyway, because if you over torque it, it can cause problems, or you just can't get it off. So anyway, so I went ahead and put the Coyote one on there, and I started the tractor up, and as soon as it built up full oil pressure with a little RPM, it literally popped to threads on the oil filter. It stripped them, basically is what it did because of the oil pressure. I heard it pop off. So I didn't use their filter, of course. You know, I got the right one. But that could have just been that filter. Might have just had bad threads from the get-go, you know, when they threaded it. Hard to say. Now this thing already ran. I already had, it already did its first generation regen. I got sweat in my eyes, so it's burning like hell. Okay, I've got 56 hours on it, basically. Yeah, 56 hours. So I'm a little bit past, 6 hours past the oil change. But anyway, so that's pretty much it. You change your oil, you change the hydraulic filter, which I just changed the hydraulic fluid also. Make sure you use diesel oil in it. I use the Shell Rotella. Yeah, Rotella, where's it at? Yeah, that's what I use. You can use, you can also use, well, any brand. You can use synthetic if you want. I just happen to use the T4. Next time, you know, I may put synthetic in it. I don't really know. I don't really use synthetic, to be honest with you. You can. It really, to me, that's more of a matter of preference. If you want to use synthetic oil, like in, I don't use synthetic in any of them. Like the Benz, the S550, that takes a special European grade oil, and I honestly don't know if it's synthetic or not. It might be. I don't really pay attention to it. But anyway, so that's a basically all there is to a 50-hour. Just grease everything, check all your fluids, check any for loose bolts also. Grease everything, change the oil filter, check your fluid level, your radiator fluid. You can see we're good there. Your screen, it depends on if you're in a dusty area as to how often you clean this screen. But it's a good idea. This is the second time I've cleaned it, I'm sorry. This is the second time I've cleaned it in 50 hours. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Check, you know, your axle fluids, which are down there. Just check all your fluids. So you do an oil change, hydraulic oil filter, which I replaced the hydraulic oil also. I mean, why not that? I use synthetic. Fuel filter. There's a sensor on the bottom of it that you can see right here. And when you, can you see it? Yeah. When you do this, this here, when you put a new filter on there, this just unscrews. But when you put a new filter on there, you have to take this off and screw it into the new filter. So just so you know that this screws into your new filter. It has a hole in the bottom of it for your fitting. What this sensor is here, when it gets enough water in it, it'll light up on the dashboard telling you you have too much water and to take this off and loosen it, to drain your water out of it. Right now, it's not lit up, so you can wait until it lights up to do it if you want. But just keep an eye on that, and really that's it. Oh, as I was saying with the regen, what happens is diesel builds up in the exhaust filter right there, because diesel is not a clean burning fuel. Basically, it's unclean gasoline. In a way, builds up soot in it, and if that doesn't get hot enough, it won't burn the soot off. And that's why really your run tractor is hard. Like when I use the backhoe on this, I know I'm going on and on. When I use the backhoe on this, I have my RPM up to almost PTO speed. But anyway, it went through regen at right around 47 hours, I'm thinking. Somewhere in there, 48. It went through regen. You can still use the tractor while it's doing it. I don't. What I did is when it kicked on its regen, I set the brake, got off of it. The RPM will automatically go, I don't know what it goes up to be honest with you, but the RPM will increase to get that baby hot. And it will get hot when it's going through the regen. So you can see the exhaust down here. You don't want to be on grass, straw, hay. You don't want to be on anything that's flammable because it will get hot. And it took, I want to say it took about, yeah, it took about 20 minutes, I think is what it took to go through the regen. And then the idle dropped back down, and I just started reusing it again. But like I say, they say you can use it during the regen, but it really doesn't run that good when it's on the regen. So I just hop off, put the brake on, let it go through its 20-minute cycle. They say it generally hits right around 50 hours. Mine hit at about 47, I want to say. Could have been 46, but I think it was right around 47 is when I was digging the trench. So I just let it do its thing. But anyway, give me a thumbs up if you like it. I know I rattle on. I had one guy complain, oh, worst videos ever. Tough shit. I like doing it the way I do it because I'm not a professional. I don't claim to be a professional. And that's what makes my videos interesting is I don't cut out all the mistakes, not mistakes, but all the boring part or the camera's not on, dead on, not focused. I could edit a lot of them, like the checking for honey on the bee one. That one I could have edited it down to probably 20 minutes instead of 26. But I don't care. You know, I don't do this for a living. I do it because I'm bored and it may help some people. So anyway, click on the little bee in the bottom right hand corner if you want to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Automatically notify you when a new video is uploaded. And I just appreciate anybody watching my videos. So thank you and have a good one. A quick shot of the air filter. You can see the difference. You know, that one's dirty. That one's obviously the clean one. Oh wait, maybe that's a dirty one. That's a clean one. But anyway, you can see the difference. I got a bunch of vehicles to move because I got a load of driveway limestone mix to cover over my trench and go beyond that over there, extend it all the way down there to the LP tank. But anyway, so thanks for watching.